there's a strange feeling sitting in millions of Australian homes right now. You're earning more money than you ever thought you would. Your pay slip says $120,000 a year. On paper, you're winning. And yet somehow, by the time the bills clear and the groceries are packed away, there's almost nothing left. You stare at your bank account on a Sunday night and you wonder how a six-figure salary still feels like you're treading water. Here's the thing, you are not bad with money. You are not lazy. You are not behind because you bought too many coffees. You are caught inside something much bigger than your own choices. It has a name, and today we're going to break it down completely. It's called the middle class trap. And by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why $120,000 doesn't stretch the way it used to and what you can actually do about it before another year disappears. Let's start with the truth most people are too polite to say out loud. The Australian middle class is being squeezed from every direction at once. Wages have been growing, but inflation has been growing faster for years. Real wages, which is what your money actually buys after price rises, have gone backwards. Even the Australian Bureau of Statistics has confirmed it. So while your boss might have given you a 3% raise, your shopping trolley, your power bill, your insurance, and your mortgage have gone up by a lot more than that. And here's the part that really stings. The $120,000 salary you earn today does not buy what $120,000 used to buy even 5 years ago. Back then, that same income was a serious upper middle class wage. You could comfortably rent in a good suburb, save a deposit, take an overseas holiday, and still have money left over. Now, the exact same number on your payslip barely covers a modest mortgage, a single car, and a family grocery bill. The dollar figure stayed the same. The life it buys shrank dramatically. Now let's talk about the biggest weight on your shoulders, housing. By March 2026, the median home in Sydney was approaching $1.6 million. To buy that house as a single person, you'd need to earn around $232,000 a year. Even renting comfortably in Sydney now requires a household income of roughly $135,000 just to avoid rental stress. Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, every capital is following the same pattern. So when someone earning $120,000 looks at the property market, they're not looking at a stretch goal, they're looking at a locked door. And every month that goes by, the door moves further away. If you already own a home, the trap looks different, but it bites just as hard. About 1 in 4 mortgage holders in Australia is now classified at risk of mortgage stress. That means more than 1.3 million households are pouring so much of their income into the loan that there's barely anything left for everything else. And when interest rates move even slightly, that pressure jumps overnight. People who locked in low rates a few years ago are still adjusting to repayments that are hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars higher per month. Then we have the everyday squeeze. Electricity prices in Australia rose more than 25% in the 12 months to March 2026. Government energy rebates have wound down. Grocery bills keep climbing as supermarkets pass on rising fuel and supplier costs. Private health insurance premiums went up another 4.41% in April 2026, which is the biggest jump in 7 years. The average family policy now costs more than $5,500 a year. Childcare, school fees, car registration, fuel, insurance on the house, insurance on the car, streaming services, internet, phone plans. None of these are luxuries. They're the basic operating cost of being a normal Australian adult in 2026. And every single one of them has crept up while your salary stayed roughly the same. Think about that for a moment. A generation ago, a single income could fund a house, a car, 2 kids, and a yearly family holiday. Today, 2 full-time incomes often struggle to do the same job. We've doubled the work required to fund the same lifestyle, and almost nobody talks about it. The expectations stayed the same. The maths underneath them changed completely. And when you don't see the maths, you blame yourself for the result. There's another thief in the room, and most people don't even see it. It's called bracket creep. Here's how it works in plain English. Every year your wage rises a little to keep up with inflation. But Australia's tax brackets don't move at the same speed. So a bigger and bigger slice of your pay gets taxed at a higher rate, even though your real spending power hasn't actually improved. You feel like you got a raise. The tax office feels it too. And year after year, the government collects more from you without ever announcing a tax increase. For someone on $120,000, bracket creep can cost you thousands of dollars over just a few years. So now you can see the full picture. You're earning a strong income, but your housing costs more, your bills cost more, your groceries cost more, your insurance costs more, your tax take is heavier, and your wages aren't keeping up with any of it. This is the middle class trap. It's not that you're failing, it's that the rules of the game changed and nobody handed you the new rule book. Here's where it gets dangerous. Most people in this trap respond in one of two ways. The first group goes into denial. They keep spending the way they always have. Lean on credit cards, tap into buy now, pay later, and tell themselves things will sort themselves out next pay rise. That pay rise never catches up. The second group goes into panic mode. They cut every small joy out of their life, blame themselves, and burn out trying to budget their way out of a problem that budgeting alone cannot solve. There's actually a third path, and this is the one I want you to pay attention to because it's the only one that actually works. You stop trying to win a game you can't win on income alone, and you start building leverage. Leverage means three things. First, you protect every dollar you already earn by understanding exactly where it goes. Most people earning $120,000 have no idea that 15 to 20% of their income is leaking through subscriptions, fees, insurance overlaps, and lazy habits the banks and providers count on. Second, you build income that doesn't depend on showing up to a job. That might mean investing consistently into low-cost index funds inside and outside super. It might mean salary sacrificing into super to legally pay less tax while your future self gets richer. It might mean a small side income that earns even when you're asleep. The point isn't to chase a get-rich-quick idea. The point is to stop being 100% dependent on one paycheck in an economy where one paycheck is no longer enough. Third, you change the question you ask yourself. Stop asking, how do I survive this month? Start asking, what does my life need to look like in 10 years so I am never trapped again? Because the truth is, the people who escape the middle class trap aren't the ones who earn the most. They're the ones who realized the earliest that the trap was real and started building a way out while everyone around them kept pretending things would go back to normal. Things are not going back to normal. The cost of living, housing, and tax pressure we're seeing in Australia right now is the new baseline. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can stop blaming yourself and start building. So before you close this video, do one thing. Open your banking app and scroll through the last 30 days of spending. Find the leak you've been ignoring. Cancel it, switch it, or renegotiate it before the week is over. That single move is how the climb out of the middle class trap actually begins. Small, deliberate decisions, repeated every month, while everyone else stays stuck. If this video helped you see things differently, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.